Hey guys, Turkey's Clocks here with another set of NFL predictions. This time it's week 11. Alright, let's get into this. So tonight we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Green Bay Packers. I am going to pick, and this might not be the most logical, but I'm going to pick Green Bay. I'm going to pick Green Bay. They beat Dallas, I think. They could beat Tennessee. I could be wrong. But I'm picking them as an underdog against the Titans. Originally, I was thinking about picking the Tennessee Titans, but they're really not as good as you think they are. They're 6-3, but they're not really a convincing 6-3. Tannehill doesn't look too good, and just I don't know. It's just, but Green Bay, they could easily get it back up to 500 if they really wanted to. But the Packers would be 5-6, and the Titans would be 6-4. So, yeah. So I'm gonna pick the Packers as an underdog. All right, now we get into some of the more logical picks here. The Chicago Bears take on the Atlanta Falcons. Man, I was dead wrong about them beating the Detroit Lions. The Lions have won 2 straight games in a row. The Bears decided to collapse. And the Falcons, I am picking the Falcons here. It's at home in Atlanta. The Bears really haven't convinced me that they're a good football team, and neither have the Falcons. But they're actually not as bad as you think they are. They're bad, but they're not as bad as you think. But I'm picking the Falcons to beat the Bears here. The Falcons will improve to what are they now? Would they be 5-6? And the Bears would be 3-8. But I think we'll see some teams eliminated in the coming weeks. But I think the first team to be eliminated will be the Texans. But I'm picking Atlanta to beat the Bears. The Philadelphia Eagles, who were handed their first loss of the year against the Washington Commanders, have the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Eagles will win. The Eagles will be 9-1, but if they do lose, they'd be 8-2. And if the Vikings hold on and beat the Dallas Cowboys, they would have control of that number 1 seed in the NFC. Well, they wouldn't clinch it, but they would have control over it. But Philly does have the tiebreaker over Minnesota. But I am picking the Eagles. They'll be 9-1. And the Colts, they will be 4-6-1. So I'm picking Philly. The New York Jets take on the New England Patriots. I'm going to pick the Patriots. Just because, the Patriots usually, dominate over the Jets every year. And last time I picked the Jets, they lost. So, over the Patriots, they lost. So, yeah. I think this week we'll go over bye weeks. I keep forgetting. But, apparently, I think half of the teams in the NFL have already gone through a bye week. So, anyways, I'm picking the Patriots. Jets and Patriots just came off of a bye week, so now they're playing each other. I think both the Jets and Patriots will be 6-4 after this week. The Washington Commanders take on the Houston Texans. I think this will be the determination of the Texans being eliminated. But we'll have to see, because Week 12 might be the kicker. I really don't know yet. But I picked the Commanders. I am picking the Commanders. They actually looked like a decent football team against the Eagles. But against the Texans, I think this is an easier opponent. I think the Commanders will be 6-5, and the Texans would be 1-8-1. And yeah, they're just not good. The Texans suck. They're not a good team. No matter what coach they have, they're just not a good team. The problem isn't Lovie Smith, it's the team around him that's doing so poorly, and that's why they keep losing games. So I'm going to pick the Commanders. Commanders will be 6-5. The Texans will fall to 1-8-1. This might be the week where the Texans get eliminated from the playoffs. We will have to see. We might see some eliminations this week, but then again, I was debating over that Titans-Packers. I was like, should I pick the Titans because they might win, or should they pick the Packers as an underdog, Anyways, the Los Angeles Rams take on the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to pick the Rams. Rams are not good. The Saints suck. This is not a really good matchup. But I think the Rams will improve to 4-6. And the Saints, they'll be 3-8. If they can win their next 6 and head to 9-8, I'm not really sure. I don't think they're going to improve their record from last year. The Saints went 9-8 last year and missed the playoffs. But we'll have to see. But I am picking the Rams. The Rams will be 4-6. The Saints, they will be 3-8. The Cleveland Browns take on the Buffalo Bills, and it's not in Buffalo. It's going to be played in Detroit, Michigan. Due to the weather. In Buffalo. There's supposed to be a snowstorm in Buffalo, but they're moving the game to Detroit, which is the smart decision because the Lions play in a dome. So anyways, I'm picking the Bills. The Bills have had 2 straight losses already to the Vikings and the Jets, but I think they can bounce back against the Browns. The Browns are just not good, so I think they'll go 3-7. The Bills will end up to be 7-3. They're currently 6-3, and they are in 3rd place in the AFC East. I mean, that division is up for grabs right now. I mean, it's not clinching up for grabs, but that division is really, really good. Every team in that division is over 500 right now. And the Patriots are in last place. They're 5-4. Proves how good that division is. But I am picking Buffalo. They'll be 7-3. The Browns will be 3-7. So, sorry, Browns fans. You're not making the playoffs. And I'm from Cleveland, so I know a thing or two about the Browns sucking. That's why I'm a Kansas City fan. Because, they're actually a good football team. And, I've been a fan of Kansas City long before they were relevant. So, the Carolina Panthers take on the Baltimore Ravens. I am going to pick the Ravens. I think the Ravens will win the AFC North. I think the Bengals will be in 2nd place, and I think the Browns and the Steelers will tie for last. But if Tomlin wants to get his first winning season as a head coach, I mean, doesn't want. I think the Steelers are not good, but I think they what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? I think Tomlin, in order for Tomlin to get another winning season as the Steelers head coach, he probably should win out at 11-6. But I don't see that happening. But it is a possibility that Tomlin gets his first losing season as Steelers head coach. So, anyways, let's go back to the Panthers-Ravens matchup. So I'm going to pick the Ravens. The Ravens will be 7-3. They've already had their bye week, so they're currently 6-3. And the Panthers, they are where are they right now? 3-7. So they'll be 3-8. They'll probably be one of the first teams eliminated as well. I don't see the Panthers making the playoffs. They're not really good. So yeah, the Ravens. I'm going to pick the Ravens to beat the Panthers. So they'll go 7-3. The Panthers will be 3-8. The Panthers' bye week is week 13, by the way. So, and that's also the same week Deshaun Watson comes back to start for Cleveland. The Detroit Lions take on the New York Giants. The Lions have won 2 games in a row so far, but I think the Giants will beat them. The Giants will be 8-2, and the Lions, they will be 3-7. As much as I like the Lions, they're just the Lions to me right now. So, yeah. So, like, they're just the Lions to me. Like, I don't think they'll do anything. I think they'll try and make a playoff push, but I think they'll fall short. That's kind of how I'm thinking about the Lions right now. And the Giants, I think they'll make the playoffs as a wild card, because they're already 7-2. So I think they'll be 8-2, and the Lions, they'll be 3-7. So I'm picking the Giants. The Las Vegas Raiders take on the Denver Broncos. I am picking, God forbid me, the Raiders. I picked the Raiders. The Broncos aren't good. The Raiders aren't good. But somebody has to win that game. And I'm picking the Raiders to win that game. Just because I might be right. I might be wrong. The Raiders, I think their bye week is week 14, if I remember correctly. But they are currently 2-6. Oh, wait, they've already had their bye week. Never mind. They're currently 2-7. But I think they'll be 3-7. And the Broncos, they've had their bye week already, too. I think they're currently 3-6. So they'll be 3-7. So both teams will be 3-7, tied for last place. This is a tank bowl. This is a tank bowl right here. Nathaniel Hackett's gonna find a way to mess it up. And then the Raiders literally lost to a head coach with no professional experience. So, yeah, I'm sorry. It's just out of the cards for me, but I'm picking the Raiders. The Dallas Cowboys take on the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings will win. The Cowboys are not as good as people say they are. They probably will not win the division. They'll probably end up in second or third place. But the Vikings, they're a shoo-in to win the NFC North. They're going to make the playoffs. They will be 9-1. The Cowboys will be 6-4 with this loss. But as long as Philadelphia does not lose to Indianapolis, the number 1 seed is good for Philly. So if both teams win, both Philly and Minnesota win, it doesn't impact the seeding. So, but if Philly loses one of those games and Minnesota wins, then yeah, that number 1 seed is Minnesota's. So you better watch out, Philly, because the Vikings are coming for you. They're coming for that number 1 seed. So, yeah. So I'm picking the Vikings. They'll be 9-1. The Cowboys will be 6-4. The Cincinnati Bengals take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to pick the Bengals. Just because the Steelers aren't really that good. They're currently 3-6. The Bengals are currently 5-4. So they'll be 6-4, and the Steelers will be 3-7. I don't know who's knocking at my door, but I wonder if it's that Broncos fan that says, "Hey, we're going to beat the Raiders." No, you're not beating the Raiders. Anyway, I am picking the Bengals. The Bengals will be 6-4. The Steelers will be 3-7. I mean, all the Steelers need to do is win out and get that winning season again. But just for, like, you know, laughs. But, like, I don't see it happening. So, yeah, I think I think the Bengals will be the Steelers here, so yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs take on the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers lost to San Francisco. This is their second straight Sunday night game. But I'm picking Kansas City, obviously. They're currently they would be 8-2. The Chargers would be 5-5 after this week. Honestly, the Chiefs have a better offense. They have a better offense than the Chargers, and the Chargers they looked decent against San Francisco, but they just couldn't come up with the win. It was just, it was just not really good. So, anyways, I'm picking the Chiefs to beat the Chargers. The Chiefs will be 8-2. The Chargers, they will be 5-5. And lastly, this is another international game because it's actually being played in Mexico City. The San Francisco 49ers take on the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to pick the 49ers. 49ers actually looked really good against Los Angeles Chargers. I think they'll beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals just suck. And their bye week isn't until week 13. They share a bye week with the Panthers. So the Cardinals would be 4-7. And the 49ers, they would end up to be 6-4. The 49ers have already had their bye week. So, anyways, I'm picking the 49ers to beat the Cardinals in Mexico City. Anyways, the four teams that are on bye week this week are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Miami Dolphins, and the Seattle Seahawks. So all the Florida teams in Seattle are on byes. So you won't see them next week. You won't see them this week, but you'll see them next week. The Dolphins clearly play the Texans next week, so you'll probably obviously know who's going to win that one. But yeah, so the next prediction video will be on Thanksgiving. I have to record it before. I have to record it in the morning, though, because the first game isn't until 12:30. So this is the Thanksgiving slot: Bills, Lions, Giants, Cowboys, and Patriots, Vikings on NBC. But yeah, that's the Thanksgiving slot. So we'll see you guys then for Week 12.